Antibiotic-resistant infectious disease experts around the world gathered in one place, the Asia-Pacific region's biggest conference, Isaar 2011. Let's revisit those 3 passionate days and more. The 8th ANSORP meeting was held prior to the opening of Isaar 2011. Established in 1996, ANSORP, the Asian Network for Surveillance of Resistant Pathogens, is the first and only international study group consisting of 230 researchers in 123 centers in 14 countries. Ever since its establishment, ANSORP has actively proceeded with numerous research projects in the field and published 110 research papers as a result. At the 8th ANSORP Investigators meeting, there was the presentation of final reports of 2 completed ANSORP studies, which were performed from 2008 to 2010, and future projects and plans of ANSORP were discussed.
And ANSORP has been doing surveillance on resistance for more than 10 years. From ANSORP data, it's clear that resistance is very common in Asia and is very important problem in Asian people as well.
After the ANSORP meeting, the first APEC Expert Forum was held to discuss the current issues on antimicrobial resistance in the Asian region as a part of the international project entitled International Initiatives to Control Antimicrobial Resistance in the Asia-Pacific region, which was supported by APEC. At this forum, the current status and problems of antimicrobial resistance, antimicrobial use, regulations and policies, and national healthcare infrastructure in Asia were discussed. The first APEC Expert Forum led to the second APEC Expert Forum in Seoul, Korea. The Strategic Action Plan to control antimicrobial resistance in the Asia-Pacific region has been developed based on the first and second Expert Forums, which can provide Asian countries with the general concept of the strategies to minimize the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance in the Asian region. Conducted by Dr. Jae-hoon Song, this project aims to monitor antimicrobial resistance and present a solution. Meanwhile, numerous people are registering outside the conference hall. These participants have traveled from all over the world. All of them have high expectations for this year's Isaar event.
This is my first time at Isaar and first time in Korea, but we work very closely as part of the Asia-Pacific area and work very closely with our Korean colleagues. So it's been a great opportunity to come and meet them too and to integrate with doctors from all over the world.
At last, the audience has filled the room. The opening ceremony for the 8th Isaar has begun. An impressive Korean traditional performance grabs the attention of the participants.
President of Isaar and founder and chairman of the Asia-Pacific Foundation for Infectious Diseases, as he approaches the stage to deliver the opening remarks.
Not only newly emerging infectious diseases, but also...
The performance is followed by opening remarks from Isaar President Dr. Jae-hoon Song, reviewing international issues of antimicrobial agents and resistance over the last 2 years. Dr. Song emphasizes the immediate need to plan for the future and then opens the symposium.
For more comprehensive strategies.
This history of Isaar was featured by co-chair Dr. Walter Wilson. Isaar was established 16 years ago as an academic symposium of professionals in Asia. Today, it has grown into an international symposium of 2,000 professionals from 40 different countries. Isaar deals with various issues under the umbrella of antimicrobial resistance and infectious diseases.
Isaar has a very important role to play in the field of antibiotic resistance because Isaar brings together all parties from around the world to get together and provide the solutions to this very immense challenge that we are facing.
The symposium takes full flight on the first day. This year's Isaar features various sections such as the plenary lecture, science session, satellite symposium, and interactive session. Professionals from all around the world passionately lecture on their cutting-edge research. The opportunity to meet leading professionals from all around the world is scarce, so each and every lecture is precious. In this aspect, the first plenary keynote lecture by Professor David Livermore carries more implications than the rest. Professor Livermore became renowned for his remarks on NDM1. His topic is the evolution of antimicrobial resistance.
We live, I think, in a very dangerous and difficult time for our ability to treat infection. The sorts of gram-negative bacteria that give opportunistic infections in patients who are in hospital, but also those that give common urinary tract infections in the community.
Many panelists, including David Livermore, feature gram-negative bacteria, a superbacteria responsible for countless deaths internationally. This trend demonstrates that Isaar is sensitive to the most current issues pertaining to antimicrobial resistance. The discussion and exchange in Isaar is fundamentally designed for the general public. Therefore, Isaar seeks various ways to raise awareness of antimicrobial resistance and the gravity of the problems it presents. Press conferences are one of the ways of doing this. Isaar is not limited to a symposium just for professionals, but endeavors to communicate with the general public.
And this is an example of what we must do as Isaar and these type of meetings. But we're a very small group, and you've got 6.6 billion people in the world. So we're 2,000 people. And so there needs to be much more awareness of this around the world.
The second day is full of various and profound panels. Dr. Song's plenary lecture takes place. He introduces iCare, an international campaign to prevent and control antimicrobial resistance. iCare aims to detect conditions and problems using a trans-Asian antimicrobial resistance surveillance system and by establishing an international collaborative system.
Antimicrobial resistance is obviously a global crisis, which is one of the greatest public health issues all over the world. Especially, many Asian countries have much more serious problems of antimicrobial resistance in major bacterial pathogens. And also, antimicrobial agents are very frequently abused or misused in many Asian countries. So the Asia Pacific Foundation for Infectious Diseases will present a new program called iCare that stands for the Initiatives to Control Antimicrobial Resistance.
The iCare project is establishing international collaborative infrastructure to control antimicrobial resistance. It is advertised at the Isaar booth. People from around the world learn of iCare and agree on the necessity of such an organization. As seen here, there are numerous booths at one corner of the convention. Many organizations participate in exchanging information with one another. Post-presentations are taking place opposite the booths. Individuals and organizations present their research and share their results with people from around the world.
Any other conference is usually concentrating on what happens in the US or what happens in Europe, whereas this gives a very unique opportunity whereby the prevalence of infections, the way things are handled, how things are done, it's an excellent forum to exhibit these things.
Meanwhile, various lectures continue. All members choose the sections of their interest, listen to the panels, and ask questions. As the individuals select the topics, they are more satisfied with the event. That evening, a special dinner is held for invited speakers and guests. The members are delighted with this final dinner, outside of the rigid lecture halls. Today's Isaar is made possible by all of these people. The last night for Isaar, made by everyone, passed in this way. Heated lectures continue to the last day. In particular, the lecture and discussion on SARS and H1N1, which spanned the globe over the last 2 years, was welcomed by many. Isaar provided a forum to share and discuss what is most important and most needed at the present time. Internationally renowned professionals joined and shared their insights at Isaar 2011. The 2,000 participants must have learned much from the multifaceted, profound lectures.
Isaar 2011 is obviously a great success in terms of the scientific program, presentations, and also number of participants. We had wonderful presentations by world-renowned invited speakers, and also we had 2,000 participants from 40 countries in the world.
The 3-day convention, ANSORP meeting, and APEC Expert Forum are now over. However, the everyday lives of the participants are only just unfolding anew. The insights and knowledge shared by these people from around the world will shine when the participants return to their homes. These efforts will become the foundation for humanity's healthy future. Until the next meeting in 2 years, everyone will continue to make progress.